Level A2, Thumbelina. Thumbelina. Part 1. There was once a gentle woman who lived alone in a small, quiet house. She was kind and warm-hearted, but she often felt lonely because she had no family. More than anything in the world, she wished to have a child. Every night she looked at the stars and whispered, "I wish I had a little child to love." One day she decided to visit a witch who was known for helping people with their deepest wishes. The witch lived in a tiny cottage filled with herbs, flowers, and strange bottles. When the woman explained her wish, the witch smiled kindly and said, "I can help you. Take this small seed, plant it in a flower pot, and something special will happen." The woman thanked the witch and hurried home. She planted the seed in a pot and watered it carefully. Soon, a beautiful flower grew from the soil. Its petals were soft and pink, and they stayed closed like a tulip. The woman looked at it every day, wondering what would happen. One morning, as the sun shone through the window, the flower slowly opened. Inside, sitting right in the center, was a tiny girl, no bigger than the woman's thumb. The little girl smiled up at her. The woman felt her heart fill with joy. "You are so small and so lovely," she said. "I will call you Thumbelina." The woman made Thumbelina a tiny bed from a walnut shell. She lined it with soft cloth and covered her with a blanket made from rose petals. Thumbelina slept peacefully in her little bed and sang sweet songs during the day. Her voice was soft and beautiful, like the sound of a tiny bell. Thumbelina lived happily with the woman. She played on the table, danced on the windowsill, and floated in a bowl of water, like a little boat. The woman loved her dearly and took great care of her. But one night, something unexpected happened. While Thumbelina was sleeping in her walnut shell bed, a big, ugly toad climbed through the open window. The toad had large eyes and a wide mouth. When she saw Thumbelina, she croaked, "What a pretty little girl! She will be a perfect wife for my son." Without waking Thumbelina, the toad picked up the walnut shell and carried it out of the house. She hopped all the way to the river, where her son lived. The toad placed Thumbelina on a large green lily pad, so she could not escape. Then she said, "Stay here, little bride. I will prepare everything for the wedding." When Thumbelina woke up, she looked around and began to cry. She was surrounded by water and could not reach the shore. "I don't want to marry a toad," she sobbed. Some small fish swimming nearby heard her crying. They looked up at the tiny girl and felt sorry for her. They whispered to each other, "She does not belong here. We must help her." The fish bit the stem of the lily pad until it broke. The lily pad began to drift away down the river. Thumbelina waved to the kind fish. "Thank you," she called as the river carried her away. She felt scared but also relieved to be free. As she floated along, a big beetle flew down from a tree. He grabbed Thumbelina with his legs and carried her high into the branches. Thumbelina was frightened, but the beetle said, "Don't worry, I want to show you to my friends." But when the other beetles saw her, they shook their heads. "She is strange," they said. "She has no wings. She is not like us." The beetle felt embarrassed. He did not want the others to laugh at him, so he left Thumbelina alone on a leaf. She sat there sadly, wondering where she belonged. Summer passed, and autumn came. Thumbelina lived in the forest, sleeping under leaves and eating berries. She tried to stay cheerful, but she often felt lonely. When winter arrived, everything became cold and white. Thumbelina shivered as she walked through the snow. She was hungry, tired and freezing. At last she found a small house under a tree. She knocked on the door with her tiny hand. A field mouse opened it and looked at her kindly. "Oh dear, you look so cold," said the mouse. "Come inside, little one." Thumbelina stepped inside the warm house. The mouse gave her food and a soft place to sleep. Thumbelina felt safe again and stayed with the mouse for the whole winter. If you like this story, please click like. It helps me a lot. And if you want more easy English stories, you can subscribe. Thank you for learning with me, Thumbelina. Part 2. Thumbelina stayed with the kind field mouse through the long, cold winter. The mouse's home was small but warm, with soft blankets and plenty of food. Thumbelina helped the mouse clean the house, cook meals, and gather small pieces of grain. She was grateful for the mouse's kindness, but she often missed the sunshine, the flowers, and the open air. One day the mouse said, "My neighbor, Mr. Mole, is coming to visit us today. He is very rich and very clever. You must be polite to him. Perhaps he will like you." Thumbelina did not want to meet Mr. Mole. She had heard that he lived underground and hated the sun. But she nodded politely. When Mr. Mole arrived, he wore a dark coat and carried a walking stick. His eyes were small because he never saw daylight. The mouse whispered, "Sing for him, dear Thumbelina." Thumbelina sang a soft, beautiful song. Her voice filled the little house like warm light. Mr. Mole listened carefully. When she finished, he said, "What a lovely voice. She would make a fine wife." Thumbelina's heart sank. She did not want to marry Mr. Mole. She wanted to live in the sunshine, not underground in darkness. But the mouse clapped her paws happily. "Wonderful! You will be safe and comfortable with Mr. Mole. You should marry him." Thumbelina tried to protest, but the mouse would not listen. Every day after that, the mouse talked about the wedding. Thumbelina felt trapped and sad. One afternoon, Mr. Mole invited them to walk through one of his long tunnels. The tunnel was dark and cold. As they walked, Thumbelina noticed something on the ground. It was a swallow lying still, its wings folded. Thumbelina knelt beside it and touched its feathers gently. "Oh no," she whispered. "Is it dead?" Mr. Mole said, "Yes, it is dead. Good. Now it will not sing and wake me up." But when Thumbelina placed her hand on the swallow's chest, she felt a tiny heartbeat. The swallow was alive but very weak. That night, while the mouse and Mr. Mole slept, Thumbelina returned to the tunnel with a small blanket. She covered the swallow and brought it water and crumbs of bread. Every day she visited the bird, caring for it in secret. Slowly, the swallow grew stronger. When spring came, the swallow opened its eyes fully and stretched its wings. "Thank you, Thumbelina," he said. "You saved my life. Now I am strong enough to fly again." Thumbelina smiled, but her heart was heavy. "I am happy you are well," she said, "but I must stay here. The mouse wants me to marry Mr. Mole." The swallow shook his head. "You do not belong underground. Come with me. I will take you far away from this dark place." Thumbelina hesitated. She was afraid to leave, but she knew she could not live in darkness forever. With a deep breath, she climbed onto the swallow's back. The swallow spread his wings and flew up through a hole in the roof of the tunnel. Thumbelina felt the warm spring air on her face. She looked down and saw the fields, the trees, and the bright blue sky. She felt free again. They flew over forests, rivers, and mountains until they reached a beautiful land full of flowers. The swallow gently placed Thumbelina on a large white blossom. Inside the flower stood a tiny prince, no bigger than she was. He had golden wings and a crown made of petals. "Welcome," he said kindly. "I have been waiting for someone like you. Will you stay here and be my queen?" Thumbelina felt joy fill her heart. She had finally found a place where she belonged, a place full of light, beauty, and kindness. She agreed happily. The prince gave her delicate wings so she could fly with him. The flowers rang their tiny bells in celebration, and the swallow sang a joyful song from above. Thumbelina had found her true home at last. If you like this story, please click like. It helps me a lot. And if you want more easy English stories, you can subscribe. Thank you for learning with me.